is Friday, December 11th. It's 4:30 right now. Market just closed a little while ago, and we got the charts pulled up. We're looking at some of the notes that we put last week. I mentioned that the QQQ was hitting a double top from September, that resistance right there. Even though we kind of passed it a little bit, it looked like we did end up rejecting and coming back down a little. Some important levels that we could be looking at are 297 and 290. Those could be some nice bounce areas. So we could bounce at 297, we could bounce at 290, or even possibly 281. So those are some level we can bounce from. Um, Same with SPY. We talked about a possible gap up on Monday to 371. We didn't get that gap up on Monday to 371, but I think we ended up hitting it on Tuesday. And I mentioned that if we hit that area, we could potentially pull back, and that's exactly what happened. We hit the area 371-ish, and we pulled back as expected. The next level for the bounce is very hard to say. We could be bouncing right here at like this 365, 366 area. We could also test that top here, where it's like 358 and change. That could also be an odd area where we bounce at and test that range. So we could even chop some more next week. That'll be interesting. You can see the crossover on my RSI here, and crossover in here as well. So usually the beginning of the crossover is when it becomes a little bit bearish. So when you see that beginning crossover right there, bam, went bearish, Same thing with XLF, but it's starting to hit the lows. So usually when it hits the lower level, it means it's weak, or it could also have opportunity to bounce if the selling pressures gives in. Now, the only thing that is conflicting is that the dollar index, right? So when the dollar goes up, the market goes down. Dollar goes down, market goes up, and vice versa. So last week I wrote that I think we could see a small bounce on the dollar index soon, and possibly cause the market to pull back a bit. Damn, what did I say? Look. I mentioned I was gonna be going a little wary going into calls next week, which was this week, because this note was written last week. And spot on, kind of warned about going to calls, and that was the right move. So we didn't really open much new calls this week. I opened a little bit yesterday. I doubled down some positions yesterday. Other than that, didn't do much at all. Just kind of wait for the chop and see where it takes us. The only thing that is concerning this week on the dollar index is that we did get that bounce here on December 4th. That was last Friday, and you saw some green, but then some more red. So it looked kind of weak. It looks like it really didn't want to grind up any higher. So that's interesting. It looked like it didn't want to grind any higher. It could go back down even more. So that's the bullish case scenario for us right there. That's the only bullish case scenario for us. The fact that the dollar index looks like it's losing momentum. But everything else is looking bearish. So you see these candles go red here. Anytime it goes red from after a bunch of green candles, that usually signals a reversal to the downside. That's how some of the bigger drops happen. Some of these bigger crashes happen like that. But there's also quite a few fake outs as well, like these two. These are fake outs. We just got, we got scammed. But usually you'll see that fake out reverse when it becomes like a smaller doji where it can't decide, where the market couldn't decide whether to sell or buy and ended up being flat. So that's how like, oh, that could end. So I'll put on a bigger chart as well for SPY. So we kind of seen it other times when we had big green candles going up, and then we have a red candle followed by another one that usually signals the reversal to the downtrend. That the second candle usually always confirms for us. Same thing here. Kind of like here a little bit. But every once in a while, we get a little trick. We get faked out. So these are some perfect examples. The second red candle was so bearish. Looked like we're gonna keep going down a lot more. And we did the next day a little bit. But then we got that doji, which means possible reversal again in progress. So that was a super tiny one. That means the day closed and open right in the middle, and next day became super green. So that's why I don't like to short the market too much, because they love to mess with us. So we got the second red day. Hopefully Monday is gonna choke a little bit more. Jimmy said I convinced him to go all in on 330 March puts. Because if market crash happens, 330 is a pretty significant level that we can easily hit. So that's like if we hit over here, that'd be like 342. That should be a pretty easy level to touch. And Jimmy bought some great speculations. He mentioned that, when Biden comes into the office, we could go down some more because, we're ushering a new president into the office, a lot of policy changes, and we don't know what's gonna happen now, and the current administration, what they're gonna do. So there's a bunch of catalysts on the line. They've been talking about the COVID relief bill. Now it's only $900 billion. They were saying, "Oh, we got to make it happen before the new year." They're going back and forth. They're trying to make it happen. They're trying not to make it happen. They're trying to go on break. They're trying not to go on break. We don't know what's gonna happen. Today, the government almost shut down because they didn't have enough funding. But apparently, they just found the money and they passed it. Now we're not gonna shut down. So that's probably a bullish case as well. Um, so those are some interesting thoughts that we have going on. Some stock I really likes in terms of buying the dip is Walmart. Great fundamental company. Solid support around here. If we're gonna bounce here. So that's one stock I really like. Target was another one. Very interested. Have a nice support level around here. Could bounce right here. Solid company. Great COVID related company as well. When COVID increase, they do well. So those are two companies I really like for next week. And COVID cases are still going up. I think we're hitting like 200 cases per day. So COVID cases. So yeah, we're still climbing. That's New York only, but look at the whole country. So yeah, the whole country was still climbing 200 plus cases. New York has speculation that it could shut down as well, I believe. New York shut down. Yeah, they just suspended dining in New York starting Monday. So this weekend is going to be like a party weekend. I guess everybody's going to go out this weekend, and then Monday, that's it. We're going back down. So that's pretty big. Cali had the same thing. So those are more catalysts to the downside. So now we got catalysts on both sides for the upside and downside. It could really go either way. We had some great vaccine news a while back. We had the Pfizer. They got the approval. Yeah, so they got the approval. December 9th, Canada approves them as well for emergency use. December 2nd, UK approves them for emergency use. So bunch of good stuff for them, man. Moderna still in the progress. They filed the application November 30th. So could be hearing back as well. I guess that could be another good catalyst if Moderna gets approved. Everybody's gonna like, woo, they're gonna get excited. I'm gonna pump. Um, then AZN as well. They could end up submitting for review soon too. They have a pretty big case study as well, 65K. Most of these require 2 doses. Johnson & Johnson is probably going to be the most interesting one. Only one shot deal. But they're still in trial, so that's going to be for a while. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. Those are the possible catalysts. I'm not super bullish or super bearish on the market. There are cases for both sides, and we can play both sides. But I'm gonna stay away from that because I generally don't like to short the market. But what I am gonna do is I'm probably gonna pick up some some lotto positions on Target and Walmart because I like those two companies regardless of whether we drop or not. Whether COVID cases go up or not. There's both solid companies. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna end the stream here. Don't forget to check our YouTube channel for the summary. And we're also introducing some very very fun stuff on our Patreon as well. I just came up with this new strategy that we've been playing around with for quite a bit, and that is the special acquisition strategy. So that's something that's gonna be very interesting. So that's gonna be been super profitable as well, even with the market going both directions. So that's pretty much it. Thanks you guys for hanging out and checking out the channel and watching our videos. And hey, take care.